And we had Will Anderson Jr. on the postgame show, and as usual, he was outstanding. He said in the postgame show, he said, man, they were playing with our name this week.
Our mentality was like, man, we got to go out physical. Like, they playing with our name, man. Like, we're attack front, so we pride ourselves on being dominant up front and being physical up front. And I think that's one thing that we really took personal this week.
When you said they're playing with your name, are you talking about all the noise outside the building?
Yeah, like I just, and I thought we did a really good job of handling the noise this week. Like, at the end of the day, it's about us. And, we said that we have to execute better, be mentally sound. But, of course, some way the noise is going to slip through. And I thought we handled it really well. Like, we went out there and we proved them that we belong here. Like, we're a playoff team, and we got the guys to do it, and we just got to keep rolling.
Yeah, so like we said, I mean, you can delete your social media apps and everything else, but when Rex Ryan has such a good soundbite on ESPN, it's going to make it through. Like, somebody's going to send it to you, text it to you, tell you about it, or you just see it because it's on in your doctor's office or something. Like, that's going to come through, but that's almost the perfect way. Is the old school way where you're not flooded with it 24/7 on your phone as you're perusing social media. You get that one little nugget and you're like, oh, okay, Rex Ryan. Oh, it's a bye week for the Chargers, is it?
Yeah.
And even before the Texans turned it around in that game, I was happy to see like what we had talked about, which was, listen, Rex Ryan, even if the Texans don't win this game, the Texans defense is going to get their pound of flesh.
Yeah.
They're gonna come up, and the Chargers are going to feel it. They're going to feel very much like it's not a bye week.
Yes.
Even if they'd won by 21. The Texans defense. These guys are not punks.
Yeah.
All right, and that's the big thing. If I'm Will Anderson and I'm hearing Rex Ryan say that, and mind you, Rex Ryan was once upon a time an awesome defensive coordinator with opportunistic, aggressive, hard-hitting defenses. And now that fat old man is saying this is like a bye week. Yeah, I'm going to go out and just, go die. It is. I'm going to go out exactly who we are. And they did. Good job.
Can I give people a peek behind the scenes a little bit? You and I during the break, you can tell you're from all the excitement of the game.
I got some post-nasal drip.
Yellow post-nasal drip. And so you were talking yourself through managing it through this 2-hour show during the break.
So my voice doesn't go. Yeah.
Right, and you're like, I think I'll just kind of manage the octave level I get to. And I'm paraphrasing here. It took all of 3 minutes for that to go out the window. Rex Ryan did it to you. Yeah.
I didn't yell though. That's right. As long as I don't use my normal radio voice, I'll be okay.
Here was Rex Ryan. Here was Rex Ryan doubling down, Ben. Here was Rex Ryan doubling down on his bye week take.
Rex, the Chargers are a road favorite in Houston. Are the Chargers the better team?
Greeny, I heard somebody say it was a bye week that the Chargers are going to win. You know who that was? That was me. I'm doubling down. Come on, Chargers.
Houston, we have a problem.
Okay, Greenberg, you're suspended for 2 weeks. Anybody that says any TV or radio personality that uses Houston, we have a problem, suspended for 2 weeks. That's the new penalty. It's the lane.
Yeah, suspended for 2. No, just not allowed in Houston.
Yeah.
He's not allowed in Houston.
Banned.
Yeah.
Banned, yeah.
Remember I was standing behind that lady waiting in boarding an airplane once, and I was going to compliment her. She was with her husband. It wasn't going to be like a creepy compliment or anything because she had really cool shoes or something like that. Yeah. And like just as I was about to, she's like, it is too hot here. Houston, we have a problem.
Get out.
And I hope the plane crashed after
Get out.
Yeah, so Greeny not allowed in Houston.
Not allowed in Houston.
No. Yeah, and Rex Ryan. You know what else angered me? There were people out there that thought that when Rex Ryan said originally that it was a bye week, that he actually was confused and thought they did have a bye week.
Okay.
And that's why he was like, no, that was a setup for a joke.
Yeah.
Like, don't let Rex Ryan ridicule you even further.
Yeah.
No, Rex Ryan not allowed in Houston.
I can't speak for those. If you didn't get the joke, I've nothing.
Rex Ryan and Mike Greenberg not allowed in Houston.
That's right, banned. If you're wondering whether or not the Texans heard this noise during the week, here was Joe Mixon in the locker room with a gigantic stogie. I mean, lighting this thing up with what looked like a blowtorch after the game.
I thought that boy said a bye week. That boy said bye week. Who's smoking on that? He's smoking on that Rex Ryan bye week. Come on, Rex.
Okay. I mean, it was funny. That was Joe Mixon. We're going to get to Rex again here in just a second. The next time that DeMeco Ryan says we don't listen to the outside noise, we don't hear the outside noise, Just remember this cut right here.
Hey, man. Hey, outstanding job by everybody. How was that bye week?
Okay? I mean, I'm not mad at him or anything like that. I'm just saying from now on, D'Amico, just when it comes to the outside noise and we ignore that, and I understand maybe you don't take it to heart like it ruins your confidence or anything like that, but nobody cares if you're taking it and using it as rocket fuel. You know what I mean?
You want to, it's about finding balance.
Yes.
You know, you don't want it to distract you or anything. And it is, like we said, it's old school bulletin board material. It's one thing, and you're like, just enough to raise your cackles a little bit.
Yep. All right, now, Rex Ryan on NFL Countdown on Sunday, after the day after the Texans mopped the floor with the Chargers, tried to apologize to the Texans. Take a
Who
listen.
had a worse day? Me or Justin Herbert? It's probably right there. But I got to tell, I mean, you got to tip your hat to them because that team played their absolute asses off. Look, if you guys were going to play like that, I would have taken you to win the Super Bowl. But I'm seeing the games going up into it, 1-5 against playoff teams. I'm seeing all that, and sorry, Houston.
Oh, we got one.
That apology sucked. That sucked.
He doesn't have he's too much of a blowhard to pull it off.
Yeah.
It is everything I feel like ever since he said that, I feel like, well, you're just disingenuous about everything. So why would I accept your apology? He's disingenuous.
Well, I don't even think he should have to apologize. You know my feeling on that, Seth. Like, you should have to apologize for sports takes. You
just
know?
own your take. Yeah. Well, but again, though, like you said, that's where I honestly, like, I was getting offended on behalf of the Texans defense because I love those psycho freaks.
Yeah.
I love the way those guys play football.
Yeah.
My God. My favorite play in the game, it wasn't even Danico Autry doesn't get a quarterback hit or a sack out of it or anything, but when he destroyed the right guard, he snatched his soul. Oh my gosh, that guy's soul left his body and departed through the patch in the roof. It was he just bull rushed the hell out. Danico Autry, what a game!
Yeah, he had a great game.
Oh my gosh, he had a good game, and he had that precisely the kind of play that defense has been playing all year long. And not to mention, the Chargers were bad against playoff teams too, Rex Ryan. They'd won 2 games. They were 2-5 against playoff teams, and those were both against the Broncos. So don't sit here and tell me, and that was the thing that was so stupid about that take. It wasn't like the Texans were facing the Ravens or the Chiefs or the Bills, who the Texans have beat earlier this season. They were facing another wild card team that had its flaws and blemishes.
I thought this one that we're about to play, we're going through the receipts from last week from the people who disrespected the Texans. I actually thought this one was worse than the Rex Ryan one. I think Rex Ryan's just kind of – first of all, Rex Ryan's in football, so I value his opinion more than, somebody who's not been in a locker room before when it comes to stuff like this. But Ian Rappaport, man, like multiple shots at the Texans.
Everyone sort of laughed about the Texans getting the Saturday early game. It's kind of the Texans' side. Everyone sort of assumes that they're going to come out and lose. And I know that the Texans have looked uneven this year. But if there's one perfect opportunity for them to give everybody the metaphorical middle digit, this would be it, right? I mean, the Chargers are good, but surely the Texans have been just as good. The Texans have been a little uneven offensively. C.J. Stroud has thrown too many interceptions for anyone's liking, but the talent for sure is there. It is a perfect opportunity for the Texans to come out and get a win that absolutely no one expects them to get.
It's again, they're disrespecting the defense. You can't even bring up the fact that the Texans defense has been phenomenal against most quarterbacks at NRG Stadium this year, other than Lamar Jackson and some of us. So.
Right, exactly. You and I were talking, like, Seth and I were talking in the press box, and Seth goes, have any other quarterbacks had a good game here in NRG Stadium this year other than Lamar Jackson? And I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to block it out too, Seth, but Will Levis had a good game here. Can't explain it.
Whatever. No, so that part of it, and so much of it played out the way we figured it would have to for the Texans to win, is that you're really going to have to ride the defense and those turnovers. I didn't expect the offense to, especially after being so lethargic for 1.5 quarters, I didn't expect them to all of a sudden show up in the way that they did. But the defense the defense keeping them in the game, even before they started getting all their turnovers, like just keeping that a 6-0 game against all odds, that was the part that it's not as dramatic other than the 3rd and 2 stop on the first drive. And that was the defense's own doing. That was why it was scary. Because when the Chargers came out and just drove down the field on the defense, it just felt like, oh goodness, what is going on here? If the defense isn't showing up, what the hell are we going to do? But they took that punch, and then they rolled.
Yep, they sure did. I wonder if Jason Kelce ever ended up watching the game.
The one that I'm definitely not watching is Houston versus Chargers. I don't know why. That one's like not even – that's the least interesting game to me. Is that fair?
I'm watching it because I think that's probably who the two teams I'm going to play.
Yeah, right.
This was right. And Jason, you missed a hell of a game, man. You missed a hell of a game.
Also, Jason, I don't know if Jason's aware of his job responsibilities yet.
Yeah.
Dude, you're on Monday Night Football. Like, what? You're not going to watch the game? What the hell are you talking about? I'm just going to read the Cliff's notes on this. And, maybe I'll let AI kind of synopsize it for me.
I'm going to watch the cut up of it.
I'm going to go shove down a college kid somewhere. That's
pretty recent.
I'll be too busy beating up college kids.
I'm going to the college football playoff to beat up on some kids in the parking lot, throw their phones on the ground and stomp them.
I hope nobody's recording any of my slurs.
Do you think that the Texans are going to get the same level of disrespect this week that they got going into that Chargers game?
Oh, 100%.
You think? Yeah, I mean, it's the Chiefs.
And I would say also, I think that again, with guys like Jason Kelce who don't watch playoff football games, or Rex Ryan who obviously hasn't watched football all year long.
Yeah.
Like that first Chiefs game in Kansas City, yes, it was in the regular season, but it wasn't like, that was a competitive game. And C.J. Stroud ultimately kind of got them to a point where they could have tied it up, but then also made a couple of really bad mistakes, and they had a game management issue that knocked them out of contention in that one. But it was a 3-quarter game there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the Texans, I'm not surprised that they're 8-point underdogs, but I think some of that is perception kind of built into it. I would bet on the Texans this week with those points.
You would take the points. Yeah, I think so too. More than a touchdown, I think I would too. Made this season betting or taking the points against the Chiefs. They played a lot of close games this year.
This is the playoff Chiefs too.
It is a playoff Chiefs, but I think the Texans, man, I don't feel like the offense is completely right, but I feel like they figured some things out this week, and I feel like they're going to be playing with a little more confidence in this game than they've been all year.
They've been attacking the entire field more effectively. They've gotten Nico involved in the short game, and in some respects, I think part of that is that the pass protection still is not pristine, but you can rely upon it a little bit more. I think they feel a little bit more comfortable with it. So I think you might get a different version of C.J. Stroud and then the offense in its entirety.
It's supposed to be 19 degrees. The high is going to be, at least as of yesterday, on Saturday is going to be 19 degrees. So
this is where the benefit might come in CJ having been under-recruited as a high school prospect. The fact that he's spent time. He's had to wear a winter hat before.
Yeah.
Like all these things that at least he's not going to be like one of these SEC kids that has never played in cold weather before.
That's right.